Oh. Made it up the hill, second live stream, and I'm aware that the majority of people who are going to see me are watching me in the future, so you're not currently live, but we're going to give this about 2 minutes to fill in. We're doing the second forest live stream, walking and talking. We've got beautiful weather, so I'm going to make the most of it. Got the weighted vest. I've halved the weight this time, so we're only 10 kilograms, 22 pounds. No golf balls coming in, but we'll just wait for this to fill out just a little bit, and then I'm thinking of doing a spontaneous book-based live stream. So I'm going to be asking people about their favorite books that they found from the channel. We're going to talk about the books. We're going to get the conversation flowing. You can see a few people coming in. Let me know in the chat if you're enjoying your beautiful Friday. I've got incredible views out here in this sunny English countryside. Hey, we got first person commenting in. Hi Jordan. Hello. You're currently sat in a tree. We're on the second ever walk and talk live stream. I've got my weight vest on, repeating myself a few times over. Apparently this is what streamers do. You have to repeat yourself for the first few minutes just so that everyone who's coming in knows what's going on. Got a few people coming in. Robin, hello. KBB, hello. Welcome to the live stream. We're doing a special book-based walk and talk today. So currently we're overlooking this majestic scenery. I mean, what a place to bring the inner library outdoors. I'll take you for a real walk, but this is the best that we've got. I'm just gonna enjoy everybody's company, and we're gonna bring up a few books. Dylan said, I missed your Q&A before. Do you follow sport or football in particular? I do not follow football in particular. I suppose we'll start with this question. I grew up in a football family, or at least my father was into football. I grew up in a kind of working class, lower middle class. Everyone likes going to the pub, getting with the lads and watching the game, and I just never enjoyed it. I didn't like the culture, I didn't like the energy. I was very sensitive and somewhat fragile child, if I'm honest, so I just didn't get it. I didn't get the tribal affiliation with your sports group. I didn't like how people would say it's my team or we beat you, so I didn't like it as a kid. As an adult, I appreciate the sport, I appreciate the athleticism, but I don't have that energetic attachment to English football, not American soccer, but that is my relationship with football nonetheless. So sorry to let you down, Dylan, but I don't know about the latest sports ball results, but I see some people are coming in now. We've got Camille as well. Nice to see you too. Let's start off the live stream. So to get things going, I'm going to need your participation. We're going to go for an actual walk and talk, but I want to talk about books, not football. So please let me know in the comment section, what's your favorite book that you found from the channel and why? And we're going to do a bit of a community poll. I've got a loose structure planned for today's video. We're going to try and bring out the best of the best, and then maybe by the end we'll be able to do somewhat of like a tier list. Not necessarily pitting the books against each other, because it's not a competition who's got the best trauma healing book, who's got the best philosophy book, but we're going to try and do something a little bit fun. And if you're wondering my stance, it's because you're in a tree. So let's get the walk and talk going. I want to see favorite books out there in the comment section. That was the crack that you were in. We're going to continue off through this forest over here, and there's a few golfers down there, so we'll give them the privacy and the space to enjoy their game. Favorite books in the comment section. Reading now from the chat. Problem of the Puer Aeternus is the first book that I see. If you haven't seen Problem of the Puer Aeternus by Marie-Louise von Franz and you're interested in inner child work, then you are missing out. A lot of the inner child work books that we see these days are overly simplified, whereas if you go back to the classic 1960s, 1970s Jungian psychology, you're going to find a wealth of deeper mythological understanding. Puer Aeternus is one of those books that I read again, Problem of the Puer Aeternus by Marie-Louise von Franz. Puer Aeternus meaning the eternal youth or divine youth. It's something which we all have to one degree or another, but what's often missed out in terms of inner child work is the understanding of the timeless aspect of the inner child. We think of the time-bound aspect of being a literal 5-year-old, a literal 10-year-old, but if you're working with the archetype of the Puer, this is something that you can tap into in your 40s, your 50s, and even your 80s. And there's really interesting connections in that book as well between the Puer Aeternus and what Jung would call the Senex, or the old man, wise man, potentially wise woman archetype. I'll show you this view just now. And again, new people joining, we're doing a book-based walk and talk, so please leave your favorite book that you've read from this channel. We're gonna bring out the top of the top and let them compete for your attention. And we're very, very lucky right here with this wonderful weather. See if I can find a place for us to hang out. I'm not quite sure on the best places, but I'm trying to balance aesthetic views on the side of the golf course. We've got autumn coming in, lovely browns and greens, and also good signal strength. So hopefully we've got a good blend between the two. It's probably a good angle. We'll keep it there, trying to figure this all out. But Problem of the Pooh Aerotonus, that's the first book we're looking at now. I'm reading the chat. Next one that I'm seeing, Robin says that I'm reading Jung's Map of the Soul and In an Unspoken Voice from your recommendations. Two fantastic recommendations. If you're interested in Jungian psychology and you haven't read Jung's Map of the Soul by Murray Stein, you have missed out on the best introduction, actually. Got some mushrooms down here as well. I don't know if you can see them. Anyone knows which mushroom type these ones are? We're not going to go picking the mushrooms, but we are in autumnal season, so Jung's Map of the Soul is going to have to wait. Not necessarily going to pick those up, just in case they're not the good kind to pick up, but woods ear mushrooms tend to be pretty abundant. You tend to find chicken of the woods growing off the trees as well. Some of these are edible. Used to do a bit of foraging back in the day. Not so much these days, but yeah, just a bit of spontaneous ADHD mushroom hunting. But if you're interested in a focused understanding of Jungian psychology, Jung's Map of the Soul is one of those all-time top books. There's a reason you see it in so many of my videos. It's because it is the best introduction to Jungian psychology, the complexes, the anima, the animus, again, the puer aeternus, and everything to do with your romantic shadow projections. Also, In an Unspoken Voice by Peter Levine. If you're interested in healing all the trauma and the bad things that happen to you, then don't miss out on Peter Levine. He's one of the modern masters. He shows you how to work with your body, work with your sensations, and undo all of that damage of the past. Reading now the chat, and if I miss your comment, excuse me. Still only the second ever live stream, so getting a handle on these comments flowing through. We've got lots of wonderfully motivated readers. I'm seeing Andre saying, the new Primal Scream. I didn't read it fully for today, and it's clear for me that I need to reread it in the future to understand it better. If you've read Peter Levine, if you're interested in books like The Body Keeps the Score or even Alexander Lowen, and you haven't moved over to Arthur Janov and his book, The New Primal Scream, you're missing out. It's an extension of the same themes, but Janov has a bit more of a corrosive personality, I'd say. He's very direct. He has a degree of intensity which I think is missing from the modern trauma healing space. He's got that classic 1960s, 1970s, look how much better we can do, and it's ridiculous that people are doing this. And, you know, he's got that fierce energy about him. I think that's missing from the space. I really do. I think we've run the risk with a lot of the trauma healing work that's happening now of overcompensating towards the mother principle. We're missing out on the father principle. We're missing out on the ability to set down boundaries, to set down rules, to set down conditions. And if you're looking at something, for example, like abandonment trauma, or you're looking at emotional neglect, you're looking at the wounds of emotional neglect in your past, understand that you need to have a father principle, which is the principle of consistency and rules and structure. There needs to be a framework for your inner work. There needs to be times when you show up and times when you take a rest, rather than inconsistent, I feel good, therefore I'm going to spend 3 hours reading a book and then not read it for the next 6 weeks in a row because you don't feel good. It needs to be structure and discipline. I think Arthur Janov in The New Primal Scream, he is one of the OG patriarchs of the inner workspace. I'm just showing now the view. We've got wonderful clear skies. We've got a dog walker over here. Oh, where's he gone? Just give them a bit of privacy and point this way. Going to check the chat now. Once again, loving these comments going through. New Primal Scream is a fantastic read. What else have we got? Healing the Child Within from Annabelle, another fantastic inner child work book that goes in with the Problem of the Puer Aeternus. If you want to combine the two together, read Healing the Child Within by Charles Whitfield. That's a 1980s, arguably the best book on inner child work. Homecoming by John Bradshaw, another fantastic read. And then go to the Problem of the Puer Aeternus for that archetypal level up. See another message now. Blessings from the Bahamas from Lavelle. I hope I said your name correctly. Have I tried lion's mane mushroom? That is a great question, and the answer is yes. Someone picking up the walk and talk vibe, let's go and forage in the forest. I take lion's mane mushroom in capsule form and in pure powder form on a daily basis nearly. I take capsules every day. I've been taking lion's mane for about a year and a half, organic lion's mane. Make sure to get high quality. It's kind of expensive. If you want to get good stuff, you are going to be spending, I don't know, £1 per day or something like that. It's not that much, $1 or something, €1 on lion's mane. I don't know if it works. People say that it is the brain booster. I think sobriety and general organic diet and general health and fitness and consistent exercise is more important than any particular supplement. But I do spend a fair amount of money on supplementation because why not? I'd rather spend an extra £50 per week on improving my supplement game or improving the quality of my diet on things that might be unnecessary rather than spending that money on things which actively harm me. So ultimately, you can choose to take lion's mane. It's something that I've been taking for a while. I also experiment with cordyceps. That's a pretty good one for energy. It's a good pre-gym mushroom. I take chaga every now and again. Really does depend on what your goals are with the mushroom supplementation. But I have no particular brand that I could recommend. Just going to give these guys a bit of privacy over here. Yeah, check the chat in just a moment. Hey guys. Looking now for the next books. Scrolling back on the chat. No, this is not a bulletproof vest. I might, I'm in a pretty safe area of England. This is a weighted vest. Last time on the live stream, we had it at the normal weight of 20 kilograms, but this time round, I'll check that for you. This time round, I've halved it to 10 kg so that I can hold the phone up and talk in a better cadence. In terms of my grounding walks, if you're interested, I do these 20 kilogram weighted walks for around 45 to 90 minutes, more or less, I'd say 4 or 5 times per week. It's not every day because it does get tiring with my regular training. I'll train at the gym, mainly calisthenics body weight, and sometimes a bit of strongman style training, about 5 times per week. But this, for me, is grounding energy. Got to make sure that the golfers don't take me out here. I'm on a long stretch. Don't want to be. Yeah, maybe I could do with a bulletproof vest, honestly, with the speed that these golf balls are coming at me, but I think we're going to be fine. I do recommend weighted walks. I actually had someone message me over on Instagram when I came back online today after my 4 days offline, and they sent a photo of their weighted walk. They were concerned that you looked like an absolute weirdo. You do look like an absolute weirdo. I just had my fucking swearing. I naturally swear, but this isn't going to get monetized, so screw it. I had my moment just then of walking past these golfers talking about lion's mane mushrooms as I'm holding a phone and live streaming. So I think we've crossed the threshold into YouTube influencer, or whatever scale I might be. I've become that guy. Hopefully they don't think I'm in a bulletproof vest, otherwise, I don't know, maybe I'm going to start my grime career or something like this. Coming back now into the theme of books. If you're joining halfway through the live stream, we're doing a walk and talk through the wonderful English countryside. There's no cows out in the cow field just yet. There might be some sheep later on. I think their grazing habits are going to be better for the late autumn. They tend to get released over into this field when, I don't know which crop is growing over there. It's some form of wheat, some form of grain. I need to be particularly mindful of these golfers because I think I'm holding them up because I'm going a bit slower than usual. They're friendly. We're friendly in the UK. We might have overt politeness and it's a mask for inner shadow tendencies, but I don't think they're going to start swinging at me at the very least. I'm going to the forest. The connection is going to get slightly worse on the video, but I'm definitely going to be much safer. Golf balls are coming in. Don't know if you can see it. So you'll still be able to hear me. It'll be slightly worse for about 2 minutes and then it'll be much better, but you'll also get to see this beautiful forest covering. Let's go back into the book questions, or maybe reading a few comments from the chat now. If you're watching this on the replay, I don't know if you can see the chat, but I'm trying to learn how to be a bit of a baby live streamer. Reading from the comments, Zato said, I found you last year after the Highly Sensitive Person personality movie. I remember when you had less than 16k followers. Today, I look at how beautifully the channel has grown. All the best, Jordan. Yeah, it's been a wild journey. At 76,000 subscribers, and I feel very fortunate now. It's been 2.5 years, going close to 3 years of being full-time on YouTube. At the beginning stages, I was putting in between 20 to 25 hours per week, doing content, making teaching, and for about 4 or 5 months, I put in hundreds and hundreds of hours and would get only a handful of views per video, but eventually, I think it was after 4 months, one video got to about 300 views, and then just kept going. So if you're interested in teaching and you want to make an impact on people in the same way that you see me making an impact on people, you want to bring that healing gift or whatever type of coaching, whatever kind of online teaching you want to do to the world, just get through the crappy 6 months. It will be a crappy 6 months no matter how you shape it. There's no real shortcut. I mean, you might be able to find a shortcut, you might be able to market your way past the entire problem, but I don't think it's true. Not for most people, and it's well worth it when you read a comment like this comment here from Zato saying they found you at 16k, and here we are, 60,000 subscribers more later on. Very, very, very grateful. And also, being completely honest, subscriber count doesn't really mean very much, because people watch a video, subscribe as a form of a like button, so don't worry about the numbers, just focus on the impact that you have. Looking now, we've got Mike in the chat, Mike Packham, hi Jordan. Camille, I think we've got a book post here. Trauma in the Soul, fantastic book. It's been quite an inner journey and brought a lot of light on the dissociation I've been experiencing for a couple of years now. Thanks for bringing it up. Ruben below says that they're going through a spiritual awakening right now. I mean, you could combine the two books together if you're dissociative, disembodied, or otherwise having an authentic spiritual experience. Consider reading a book like Trauma in the Soul by Donald Kalshad. Kalshad's a Jungian psychologist. This book is one of the top books I recommend to my clients, and it's something that really does seem to land quite well with the majority of the YouTube audience. You'll understand the more spiritual aspects of dissociation. You'll understand why, hit the crows. You'll understand why you leave your body in a moment of stress or a moment of agitation, and ultimately the beautiful healing benefits of returning to that body when the timing is right. So, Trauma and Soul, fantastic read. Reading the chat now. What have we got? We got Laura. Laura saying, hello Laura. Just want you to know that you are helping me change my life, and it's a hard one. So thank you. You are most welcome. It's truly a pleasure to be able to do this work. Someone said, where and how do I start with spirituality? I wouldn't know how to answer that question. I generally don't work with people who are at the starting journey. I think everyone has their different entry point. I tend to focus on some of the problems that come a little bit later down the path. I tend to find that the majority of people who are working with me tend to come on to the journey of running to exhaustion. Hey guys, just turn this way to give you guys some privacy. Have a great walk. Still trying to navigate these interactions, but hopefully we're doing a good job. I want everyone to feel nicely respected, in the same principle of not wanting to be suddenly filmed when you're going out for a nature walk with your wife or something, right? Like, just not the mood that we want to proliferate. We'll stop here. But yeah, I don't tend to help people at the early stages because there's many wonderful teachers and many wonderful books which prioritize those teachings, and there's an absolute scarcity of advice and guidance for people who are 3, 4, 5 years deep or maybe more. So I see my role very much being a custodian of the best from history and bringing that through in almost a revivalist kind of way. I think we might have to head back up over that way and go down past the other golfers, but look at this scene. Look at this scene. Someone said, what degrees do I have? I have a history degree. Yeah, undergraduate history degree. The psychology that I share on this channel is self-taught, and hopefully that encourages you that you can set aside the time, turn off your phone, and just read books by experts, and likewise educate yourself through good reading and good intentional practice. But I will say about history degree, if you're a younger person watching, which statistically speaking is like 3% of my audience, the majority of people that watch my videos are in their midlife. But if you are a younger person watching, or someone who's thinking of getting a postgraduate degree in psychology, just beware. Beware. If you're interested in the kind of books I recommend here, you are very unlikely to get a curriculum which focuses on the more interior, subjective, esoteric or holistic aspects of healing in the heart, healing in the mind, and becoming a self-integrated person. A lot of the curriculum out there is well-intended, but it's locked into diagnostics and it's locked into insurance systems. And honestly, I think there's a very unfortunate bias within modern psychology that newer is always better. So I'm a bit anti-authority, and I thought, I'll take my history degree principles, go back into the past and find the best books from the last 120 years. And you do eventually realize there's a significant change around the year 2000 in terms of how psychology books were written. And it also coincides with the accessibility of therapy and self-help overall because of the internet. Just pay attention. But yeah, history degree is very useful for research skills, and that's the one that I have. Reading the chat now, excuse me. I'm reading the chat, loving all these comments. My apologies if I miss out your comment again. Only the second ever live stream, so we're figuring out the angles and figuring out the process. From Dylan, Jordan, do you think when a person integrates aspects of their shadow, their appearance might change? Jordan Peterson spoke about it once, and I've seen anecdotes online. You tell me. I've got a video up on my channel from 3 years ago. I don't look like the same man. That might just be growing up, but I did a hell of a lot of shadow work in this time. And I think there is a tangible effect on material reality when you've changed inner reality. I think even just the lucidity in your eyes, the facial expression, when someone becomes healthier, they naturally become more radiant and they seem more cohesive. It doesn't seem like they're fragmented or split, or like their personality is inconsistent with their facial expressions. When you do genuine shadow work and genuine self-integration work, you end up being the person that you are on the inside, but it reflects outwardly. Or if you're not a very healthy person on the inside, ultimately you get an opportunity to be able to turn that around. So yeah, I do think that genuine shadow work, genuine healing work does turn things around quite significantly. Someone said, where am I walking currently? Meaning inner work, so not... Someone did a typo of where am I walking currently, but they meant where am I working currently? Where I'm walking currently is the side of an English golf course. I'm very, very, very fortunate to live. So we'll go this way. I wanted to go down that way. Beautiful, expansive views. But these guys are playing the hole, so we'll head down this way. Back where we came. And I get to look like a bit of a muppet holding my phone with the 10 kg weight vest. But we're learning. I'm pushing my comfort zone, and I said I'll do at least 4 live streams. I'll do 1 per week for an entire month, no matter how I feel. And that's what we're doing. I've actually got a friend coming over, one of my close male friends who I've known since university back in the day. And we're going to hit a workout and have a pretty bro-y night together. I'm going to take him down to where I train, maybe do some strongman style stuff, do some heavy farmer carries if you're not on the farmer carries. Get on the farmer carries if you want big traps to lift big burdens in the world. Farmer walks, heavy farmer walks over distance, old school, just pick up a weight and carry it. That's pretty much my training principle overall. I try and keep it as simple as I possibly can and not get too complex. Also, generally don't enjoy bodybuilding style movements because they're pretty isolated and generally a little bit boring. I'd rather do muscle ups and handstands and interesting dips and things like this, or do very heavy, very simple primal man kind of movements. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm going to walk back down. I've got about 10 minutes left in the live stream, and what I'm working on currently, so not inner walking but inner working, as I mentioned last time on the live stream, I am currently healing my YouTube addiction. Ironic, as I'm now unlocking the ability to do YouTube live streams, but yeah, I'm healing my YouTube addiction. I can report quite happily that it's been 6 weeks of flawless unplugging from YouTube. And what I mean by this is that when I started watching YouTube as a little self-development junkie in my teen years, I didn't stop. I found a wealth of information, men and women, quite honestly I suppose mostly men. I was looking for fatherly figures or older brothers or uncle-like figures who could give me advice on fitness and girls and finances and all of this stuff, and I just never stopped. And I realized that even though for the last 2.5 years I've had my offline time, I take my days off Instagram, I only do Instagram on the weekends, I don't do my client work, I'm focused, I was still missing out on the deeper possibility of tuning out the world and seeing what was in here. So for the last 6 weeks I've been healing my YouTube addiction, and it's been flawless. Quite honestly, it's been transformative. I cringe to say this, but my actual reality is my reality. Last week I read 10 books in about 3 days. That's because I just read the whole day, like 12 or 13 hours. I just read. This is the first read. I'm not trying to memorize things, I'm not trying to brag. That's literally what I did. I documented it over on Instagram this week. I read 5 books, and I also filmed 5 hours worth of YouTube videos. So if you want a productivity, low-level motivation for quitting YouTube and getting off for a few days per week and also coming off social media, that's one of the high-level motivations and low-level motivations you can continue. But that's what I'm currently working on. I'm gonna check the chat now and see what else is coming through. Someone said, do I have any plans for 100k subscribers? No, I think it's God's plan, quite honestly. YouTube is very unpredictable. It could be 2 months until I hit 100k, it could be 2 years. You really can't control these things, and I'm honestly not too worried about the analytics or the metrics. I think people focus on the wrong things when they're teaching online. Just make sure there's no golfers that way. People focus on the wrong things when they're teaching online. You want to focus on the quality of your community, and you want to focus on the authenticity of your message. So although I'll be very grateful when I hit the 100k, we're at 76,000 at the time of recording. If you're watching this in the 2030s because you're going back and stalking my channel, welcome to 2024. Yeah, my plans for 100k, we'll see what I do, but ultimately don't focus on the numbers, focus on the quality of the community, and for me, the authenticity of your teaching. If you're lying, or if you're trying to cover up your lack of information, your lack of depth, your lack of integration with slick editing tactics and trying to figure out how to just get a video together for the sake of getting a video together, or just marketing short form content because you saw someone saying that that's the best way to grow your business and grow your audience, I think we're out of that age. That's the attention age, we're in the authenticity age, and I think that the new leaders, whether I be one of them or whether I not be one of them, will focus on authenticity and deep integrated knowledge being far more useful than high attention span. Let's get you all, hopefully the wind's not too bad, high attention span. Let's get everybody hooked on their screens even more so. Give these guys a bit of privacy. We'll work through Cowfield Gate. Hopefully the signal will maintain. Should get a little bit less wind. Unexpected pathway. I think this is going to be the best path. We might have some sheep in this field as well. If we do, you're in for a treat. Yeah, we do have sheep. At 2 minutes, we're going to come across some sheep in the open field on a public footpath. So for any American viewers who are worried that I'm going to get shotgunned by a farmer for trespassing, we don't do that in the UK. We have public footpaths that go through pretty much all private land in one way or another to allow the right to roam. So I am exercising, quite literally, my right to roam with this weighted vest for grounding purposes. And hopefully we'll get to encounter some sheep, and we'll end with a nice little sheep moment. And again, thank you for joining me in the second live stream. It's been an absolute pleasure. Most people will be watching this video. If you're interested in catching the next one, I'm going to do it on Fridays or Saturdays around sunset time, weather permitting in the UK. And we're going to do at least 4 of them. Bring up the chat. The chat now, fantastic. It's so full. Beautiful nature, beautiful person in the frame. Alien emoji, thank you. Another message in the chat. Hey there, greetings from Switzerland. Hello. I think I've missed a lot of messages. Thoughts on Gabor Mate? He's great. He's doing God's work. I've got a few of his books. I think he helps with different subsection of people who are interested in work to me. I find that people who tend to find my videos have already worked through his material, and I tend to offer some different perspectives, which he doesn't get the opportunity to go into because he's focused on a more mainstream, accessible audience. But his work on addiction, his work on attachment, and also, overall trauma, popularization, the popularization not of trauma, but of trauma teaching is fantastic. I love anyone who's doing this kind of work and getting the message out there. And of course, he's far superior to me in terms of the impact that he's had. He's well ahead, he's in his early 80s, he's a great role model for what's possible when you're staying on the lifelong journey of being an authentic teacher, as we spoke about earlier. Have I read all of Jung's collected works? No, I have not, and I don't think I will. Controversial take. I think that the majority of practical Jungian psychology is not gained through reading Jung directly. I've got probably 10 or 11 of Jung's collected works over on the bookshelf, and I don't recommend it too often. I recommend James Hillman, I recommend James Hollis, I recommend Marie-Louise von Franz, Marion Woodman. You can see these sheep, look at this. We're gonna get close. Actually, should I go backwards? This is me trying to figure out how to get a sheeping moment. Let's just take a quiet moment. Actually, if I want to maximize your experience of these sheep, I'm going to be super quiet and just approach calmly, okay? I didn't like that. Yep, it's okay. It's okay, everybody. Yeah, you're good girls. Fun fact, I spent 3 weeks shepherding in Italy about 6 years ago. I was in Tuscany, and I worked as a shepherd for a while during my volunteer days, and learned how to corral a pack of about 30 sheep and some goats as well. So, I just need to lower your energy a bit. They'll still startle, because, why wouldn't you? I'm intruding on their turf, but let's just come down a bit. Got any sheep fans in the comment section? I suppose the question is sheep or goats? Baby lambs or baby goats? Which one's better? Honestly, I think baby goats. I mean, no offense guys, but baby goats are definitely superior. They've got more energy. They're just more vitalized. Hopefully you can hear me. I don't want to speak too loud, but maybe they're accustomed to me so I can speak louder. You guys gonna run away? No? You're unbothered? Yeah, unbothered? Cool. Okay, can bring back up the volume. Now they're adjusted to me, and as the jokes go, I've got my bulletproof vest on because we've got some pretty rough and rowdy neighbours here over in the English countryside. Wouldn't want to get stampeded. I'm not sure if it's gonna help, but a few more comments going through. Mike saying, love your work, Jordan, keep it up. Thank you. Someone said, what's my favourite food? Honestly, just clean, organic, simple food. I tend to not be too much of a foodie. I like organic coffee, I like dark chocolate, I like fasting. Food for me is mainly fuel. I do appreciate a good meal, but I don't care too much for food, honestly. I'm pretty interested in ideas and connections. Final few comments in here. Jump on and ride a sheep. Reckon I should finish the live stream by riding a sheep. One of you guys gonna let me ride you? Any volunteers? You, perhaps, in the front? In the back? I don't think so. I don't think I'm gonna ride the sheep. Very lucky. Very, very fortunate. I think we'll end it there. Me and the sheep. Second live stream. If you missed it this time, join me next week. Friday night, Saturday night, sunset time. We're gonna go for a wonderful walk in nature. Bring the inner work into the outer world. And if you haven't already got yourself a weight vest, get yourself grounded, get yourself tough, because life awaits. Thank you for being here. Again, improving my live streaming YouTube confidence with all the golfers and all the looks. We'll get better. I'll get better, and then maybe I'll end up doing prank videos on YouTube 6 months from now, and I just abandon the whole psychology thing and I just sell out for ad revenue. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. I don't make very much money from ad revenue. If you haven't noticed, I try and turn off advertisements on my videos. I have no ads in any of my videos in the middle, because my philosophy and my psychology is, why would I let another man advertise his product or service on my teaching when I've spent hours preparing something that I want to share? Why would I trade your attention and your focus for a couple pennies of someone else's product? Doesn't work, doesn't make sense. Whole philosophy and whole psychology is deep focus, deep attention. If I could turn off all ads, I would, but unfortunately YouTube has algorithmic favoring, where if you've got advertisements on, it'll get pushed out a bit, but only make a couple £100 per month, which might be surprising. It's definitely not my main income stream. Yeah, seeing the chats now, people appreciating, and yeah, no ads. I do have some ads, just at the start and the end, not in the middle. Bring you into the gate. I guess we'll cross the threshold. See you next time, and be well. I don't know how to end this. I'll just admire the nature. There we go. They're playing. There we go. I have no idea how to end this. We're all a novice at something. Don't be afraid to practice in public, because eventually... Oh, it's the cross. It's the cross in the corner. Lesson learned. Don't be afraid of not having it perfect. Just do the thing. Thousands of people are going to watch this potentially. I can't even find the cross in the corner. But found it. See you next week.